Welcome back to Numbers on the Board.
Numbers on the board, yes!
We are here a little over 24 hours before free agency completely starts and all of our favorite teams become championship contenders. It's going to be such a good time.
My team already won.
I cannot wait for it. Before we get into the episode, because we got the draft, we got big trades, we got free agency. There's a lot to get to today.
We here, we pump!
And it's exciting. I want to remind you that we do have a live show coming up for Vegas Summer League, NOTBlive.com for you to get your tickets. It's almost sold out, and we want to officially announce the first guest.
Big
Hibachi.
guest.
It's Gilbert Arenas.
Gilbert
Arenas.
Yes, Gil's in the building, baby.
So be sure to get yourself some tickets so you can come out and watch us talk to Gil. We also just launched in another channel. Y'all was asking, can we do some stuff outside of the podcast? So we just dropped our first video, which is Guess the NBA Player by Basketball Reference. That was the first video, and the second video is being edited as we speak. And you know what? I'm a spoiler right now because we already talked about it kind of. It's a NBA Draft Combine video we filmed a few weeks back.
Oh, yeah.
So we get to see Darrick and Mike become NBA prospects.
So the first video is KB versus P.
Yes, basically. But
That's
go
what all the
watch
comments
that.
are
Go watch that.
That's crazy because I answered questions.
Derek did provide some quality.
Mike
quality
was just there for the
answers.
vibes.
Yeah, I was there. I just had aura.
As long as he ain't throw it off, he was cool. Ain't nothing worse than a partner who ain't doing nothing, but then also leading you. No, I don't know if that's Sean Kilpatrick. I don't know. You sure?
Yeah, Derek was locked in. So go watch that video. Subscribe to that channel. Link will be in the description. All right, that's all I got at the top of the show, man. Leave a like, subscribe. Let a friend know that a lot of people might be taking time off for this off season when it comes to basketball stuff.
Never have, never will.
There's always stuff happening in off season. There's always stuff we're talking about.
Nah.
We just make it happen, though.
Once that summer league stuff is done, we get a month and a half of nothing.
Well, no,
But
we
this
get
year
Olympics. We get Olympics.
But the Olympics is like 13 days. The Olympics is not very long. It's not like it's a full month and a half of content. But still, we will be doing our show. So if you need your basketball fix when there's no NBA basketball, this is the place to be. Okay.
Absolutely. Where y'all want to start?
Where do we have Drop the Mic? Maybe we start off. No, we don't.
We start with Dejounte Murray trade.
Let's go backwards.
Yeah, I think we got to start with the Knicks, right?
No, let's go backwards. Because that's old news, man. Nobody talk about them Knicks no more. They didn't get the 3 minutes at the end of the show.
You do sound like a little bit of a hater.
I know I am.
He is a hater.
I am a hater. Love the trade, though.
I would be a hater, too, if... Never mind.
It's cool. Let's start off with the most topical thing, which is the Dejounte Murray trade that happened yesterday. Larry Nance, Dyson Daniels, 2 first-round picks, one of them coming from your Lakers in 2025. The other one is the least favorable between the Pelicans and the Bucks. And I think E.J. Liddell is in the trade, too. I don't want to act like he's not, even though he wasn't in any of the original reports. But they was like, oh, yeah, E.J. Liddell is now a part of the Atlanta Hawks.
Dyson Daniel wasn't an original tweet either.
He wasn't.
It took
a Larry Nance.
It took a second. Everybody was talking about Larry Nance.
When I saw it was Larry Nance in 2 first, I was like, what? But then I was like, Dyson. I was like, oh, okay.
You know, adds a little bit to it. How y'all feeling about it, though? The second domino, because Mikal Bridges is the first domino.
Just crazy to not see Brandon Ingram in it. Because when I first got this report, as I pulled up back home, and it just said, breaking Dejounte Murray to the Pelicans.
Exactly.
So then I'm like, oh, Brandon Ingram to the Hawks. I just felt inevitable. I feel like this is a trade that we all knew was happening. You know, he had the Lakers in the background chat or whatever, but we kind of felt it was going to be Pelicans. And so I was just knowing it was going to be Brandon Ingram. Then I got the next tweet that said Larry Nance in the 2 first. And I said, wow, no Brandon Ingram. So then I rushed in to get to my office to record. And then I'm like, you know what? Before I rush, let me refresh and just make sure nothing else is added. And then the Dyson Daniels happened, and I'm like, oh, so really no Brandon Ingram. That was the most shocking thing, no Brandon Ingram, just because there was also a report that said him and the Pelicans are trying to find a middle ground. I don't really know what a middle ground is. Maybe it's contractually.
I think it was money-wise because he's basically not going to be able to get the max he can get the following season just because they don't have the money.
So if they were able to do that.
But who are we talking about?
Brandon
Ingram. You're talking about BI and
Yep,
extension.
Yep. Okay.
In my brain, if they were able to do that, well, regardless, if they're able to do that, and even if they're not, if they still have to trade them, I just feel like the Pelicans put themselves in a win-win position to be able to get Dejounte Murray without having to give up somebody like Brandon Ingram, who would kind of seem like was an inevitable trade piece. And it could lead them into a situation where they can just continue to build this team because you have now Dejounte, Alvarado, you have CJ, Hawkins, you have Murphy, Ingram, Herb, Zion, You don't have a Valanciunas right now, but
That's
that
my
depth chart
idea
is kind of crazy.
What's the center going to look like for
Yeah,
them?
Yves Missy they did draft who I
They
like.
did who? Yeah.
They say Yves Messi picked up a basketball 3 years ago, and now he's in the NBA.
Hey, it happens like that.
I
Especially when you that big.
y'all remember that video they had of Joel Embiid when he was like, I don't know how old he was, but he had like tried to go for an open layup and he like threw the ball over the backboard.
Yeah.
So that type of stuff always happens, but you never know what they can become.
The setup is just nice for the Pelicans, man. It's just extremely nice. I don't know what the Hawks are doing.
That was gonna be my next question. When you first seen the reports coming out, my initial thought was like, Trae probably got to be next, because I didn't see the Dyson Daniels thing at first, but it was like Larry Nance at 2 first. It sounded like you're just trying to sell stuff and get your draft capital back. But then also it's just like they were saying Dejounte Murray and his people, like it just didn't work out in Atlanta, so they were looking to move him. So I really don't know if they want to keep being competitive, or it's just like they're really trying to sell, because I see people saying like Trae Young could be on the move too.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at Trae Young being on the move, but also let's just run it one more time with him being a lead guard and not having to share the court with Dejounte and just see where we go. Like, I feel like there's a room where you could probably just still develop those guys next to Trae Young. He's such a good facilitator, such a good team guy that, like, I think you could still develop your young talent while Trae Young is playing.
Did DeJounte hurt the team so much that they didn't have the year last year that they could lose him for that package and then make the playoffs next year?
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is
honestly
the
I don't
It's
think
not-
I
it
don't think it's
wasn't
a
a
hurting
DeJounte problem.
I think
It
it's
was-
a chemistry thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the starting lineup? It's
I don't
Trae
think
Young.
they're done. I don't think they're done. There's no way that they're done.
I don't think they're done.
I
either.
mean, from this perspective, because
Oh.
they may not be done. Hopefully, they're not. I would hope so, but we don't know what they're gonna have. So all I can really count on is this being a big portion of the team, which is Trae Young, Jalen Johnson, Zachary Richardson,
Clint Capella.
Dyson Daniels. I don't know what's going on with Clint Capella because he was made available with Brandon Ingram. Same with DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah.
And you have Bogdan Bogdanovic.
Yeah. And isn't Bogdan a free agent?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Going into his last year. I don't think this is bad value for Dejounte Murray. Everybody and their grandma knew that Dejounte Murray couldn't be an Atlanta Hawk next season, that one of the two was going to get traded. So if we all know sitting here, then every general manager in basketball knows too. They replenish the draft picks they gave away. Obviously, this is what makes it difficult because you think about trading Trae Young. You don't have your own first-round pick in 2025, so trading Trae Young and trying to tank doesn't make sense because you're just giving that pick to the Spurs. But they gave up 2 to get DeJounte. They gave up 2 to get rid of him. They also got Dyson Daniels, so y'all know I'm a big fan of Dyson Daniels. I don't know how he fits in Atlanta, but just like a 21-year-old big wing who defends well, can play some guard, whatever. I don't think this is bad value. I do question, what the direction is, because you also traded A.J. Griffin for a 40-something overall pick, even though he wasn't really in a rotation with Quinn Snyder. I know some
weird.
Atlanta Hawks fans didn't love who they took at number 1. So the direction is questionable. But if I'm thinking about just DeJounte Murray as a value piece, I think they got decent value for him.
Yeah, I think this is one of those trades where I think both sides came out of here as a W. I think they both equally got something that's positive for the team. I don't think either team fleeced the other.
I just don't know what the Hawks are doing. I'm not talking about
There's a
Yeah,
huge talent disparity. The team that won the trade as far as talent goes, easily the Pelicans.
Yeah.
But
when you're talking about adding Dyson Daniels, who can come in and add just a good point forward type vibes. He can do a little bit of everything on the court for you.
more
and
than
then,
anything, he's a point of attack defender, something they haven't
yeah,
had
and
for
then
2
he
years.
could do that. Yeah, he could be your POA, and I think that you get a nice young piece that you could develop, and you got 2 draft picks back. And then I think for the Pelicans side, you get a legit point guard next to Zion for the first time.
Absolutely.
And I think that's phenomenal.
For sure. My thing is, though, if you're developing him, Zachary Richardson, and all these other guys, what does that mean for Trae Young? I think Trae Young has kind of made it clear on his podcast that he's not trying to be on a developing team.
Yeah, it really depends on Trae Young walking into that office.
Yeah.
Honestly, because what you said is completely true. He just watched what Luka Doncic did. I remember him liking all of those tweets and Instagram pictures of Luka Doncic's path. How I remember there was an Instagram post where what Luka Doncic's team looked like 2 years ago versus now, and how they got to the finals. And obviously them trading it together, their careers are kind of attached to each other to some way. And how his team was able to build around him. And he mentioned on his podcast, he wants to play for a winner. So it's just a matter of can he see the vision that Landry Fields and them are putting together, or will he walk into the office and say, I don't see it, just get me out of here now, and you can build around Richardson and Dyson Daniels and all of the other young players. It's really going to be up to him.
Yeah.
Because he's under contract for the next couple seasons, a lot of money left on it. But he's going to be a guy that if he walks into the office and they made him available, teams will call because he's that talented of an offensive player. The only thing is when you trade for Trae Young, you're not trading for the talent piece. You're trading for everything. Like Trae Young, I won't say has to be, but the only version we've seen of Trae Young is him being your system. Yeah. And maybe he could evolve where it's not that.
They were also saying that's why it was Dejounte instead of Trae, just because it was a little bit easier to make the trade happen, like contractually and everything that was going on with it. Just like it's a large thing to take on Trae.
It was rumored that Dejounte Murray had more trade value on the open market. I saw that and heard that several times.
His contract isn't as much as Trae Young's, and I still think he brings you so much value on both sides of the court.
Really,
it's like
it's been a few years for that man sat in that chair,
but he definitely can.
We said that when they traded for
that was one of the biggest things for me of him going to the Pelicans is I think they have a defensive culture there, and I think because you have somebody like Herb Jones, he doesn't necessarily have to be your number one defender on the perimeter, and I think maybe that could reignite what we've seen, especially because the offensive burden won't be as large as it was.
And I also feel like when you're playing for a team that ain't really defending, you're not going to defend.
No defensive culture.
Yeah.
No defensive culture at all.
He played with Pop where there's a defensive culture, a defensive-minded coach.
He also didn't have the load offensively when he was made an all-defensive team.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he was playing with DeMar. Yeah.
But I don't know. The Pelicans have some big decisions, though. Like, they have too much talent.
Too much.
It's like, is CJ McCollum a six man all of a sudden now?
No.
I think he starts next to Dejounte.
Then who? Okay,
Herb Jones goes to the 3.
And then Brandon's at the 4 because Brandon's on the roster right now.
Yeah, you're right. Fuck.
So somebody has to come off the bench.
Yeah.
You're not benching Herb Jones.
Yeah.
He is that defensive coach you talked about. You're not benching Zion, obviously. If Brandon Ingram's around, he's not coming off the bench.
And you didn't trade for Dejounte.
You're going to have a $30 million man coming off the bench? Like that's why I feel like there's still more to be done because obviously they don't have a center on the roster other than Yves Messi or Messi.
So that's why the blinds point to me to the Brandon Ingram thing. I don't think you do this trade and it just goes away.
I think Brandon Ingram's still on the move. It's
you just pivoted
since the offseason started that he's one of that's their priority is to move him this offseason. So
I thought their priority. They tried to extend him. He didn't like the contract.
Now they trying to reach a middle ground.
Yeah, I think, and that might be a leverage play. Not letting the world know that you're still trying to move him. Like, hey, we're still working out negotiations. Even when they after the draft, you know how every team puts their like press conference together. David Griffin was asked about Brandon Ingram. He was like, man, we want to keep him more than anything. We're still trying to figure out that contract. And that could be just baloney, as you know, try to keep some leverage, or that could be the truth. I mean, Brandon Ingram's a really good player.
Yeah, I can understand both sides, but honestly, with the depth that you have, it don't even make sense to honestly keep him at this point.
You know what I really do feel? If they did keep him, this team is not going to be as good as we think it will be. Because I feel like they have so many people that create. That like if you trade him for a center, let's say the hypothetical trade that everybody wants to see, it's like a Jared Allen switch. Trey Murphy III starting as just a catch and shoot guy just changes the whole, because you can have Dejounte who want to get his stuff off. You can't have CJ who turned himself into a better catch and shoot guy, but still wants to get his stuff off. Zion obviously has to create, and Brandon. You can't have 4 shot creators on the court. At least with Trey Murphy, you look at him and be like, that is our spacer. He can create, but his role mostly is to get up 3-point shots. And I think that would just open up the team a little bit more.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Because like, there's no fluidity with the offense. It seems like it's all just one. Here, your turn. Here, your turn.
And I pray that Dejounte can provide some of that. That's not what he did in Atlanta. Let's be real.
Yeah.
He was a guy that it was his turn, my turn. When it was my turn, I would create, and I'm Mike in 2K. Yeah. Where I'm passing for an assist. I'm not passing to start the offense. Yeah. And that's what he had turned into in Atlanta. Right?
Absolutely. That's why I looked at him.
Pass first ball.
And that's not what that's what Dejounte was last season. And part of that was situational.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
But this is a team that, again, has so many other people that could create for themselves. We need him to be a point guard more than anything. And we know he can. Yeah. But he just has to flip that switch to do that.
I think that's something that he could do. I think once you show you could do something, but you go into a situation where you're not asked to do it, people can forget what you can do. Now he's going to a situation where he is the point guard and he can facilitate and he can run offense. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to be perfect. As Zion has a dude that he could pick and roll with and like find him and get him some easy looks, it's going to be, I think Dejounte is the perfect fit for the Pelicans.
I feel like it's been a long time since I've seen Dejounte just run an offense. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's so good at just breaking down his man. That's where a lot of his assists come from. It's like, let me drop it down to the big or kick it out. It's not more so like heavy pick and roll.
What game did we watch together, Dejounte?
That was against Celtics.
Yeah, like 40-something.
Killing them.
He took 40 shots and got
just killing them down the stretch.
Yeah.
That's something that he's going to be able to offer them too. You know what I mean? Somebody.
Yeah.
I didn't
down the
realize it
stretch.
was as bad as what it was because Woj's tweet was like they were 0-24 when they were going into the fourth quarter down. Like, damn. You ain't had one fourth quarter comeback all season long. Obviously, Dejounte hit so many clutch shots that it's like he can provide some of that. And I think it said they were 2-12.
2-14.
2-14 in clutch games. And that was something we talked about on the show quite a bit, where this team made no sense. Their starting five had a negative net rating, which is just not, that's rare for a playoff team. They didn't win any clutch games, and yet they were a playoff team. Like the combination.
A convincing playoff team. They weren't even in the play-in.
It's just one of those things, man. They had so much depth that was like, yeah, our starting five sucks together, but we'll just make a little move here, and then now we just going to dominate some teams.
Yeah, I mean, they do have
I just never really liked the play style with Valanciunas was on the court. Like, I don't mind him as a player, but just with Zion as the 4, you got Brandon Ingram trying to work on the inside. It's just so clunky. It's going to be not easy to defend, but you put yourself at a time where it's just like we can put extra help around these guys because they don't have that type of space.
That's the biggest question. Who's going to be that center?
Right.
That's the biggest question.
49-33 last season.
And there's not many centers that's going to be able to just space the floor for you.
Nah, those ain't just out there.
They're just
No
not
way.
out there.
And I don't even think they need that. I know what Z provides, but like he'll be able to do it if it is a Jared Allen, a non-spacer type of guy at the 5. I think they need more of a guy like Jared Allen for the defensive back end more than anything.
And so for the Hawks,
First of all, the Western Conference is just so damn stacked. It felt like every star, Mikal Bridges stayed in the East, but like I feel like a lot of these teams are just gearing themselves up to punch each other in the face and to get 2 games better. And the 2 games better could be a better path to the finals because it's all matchup based.
Except for the Grizzlies.
Why do you say that?
They won't be 2 games better.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be marginally
significantly
better.
better.
Yeah, okay.
some other teams are going to dip too. I mean, if the Nuggets can't find a KCP replacement, that's a big loss for them.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. And
I
it
saw
also
that.
came out that that they didn't want to do a sign-in trade with KCP for him to go to Dallas. And they didn't want to agree with that because they want to send him to a division.
I like
that's
that.
a rival. Instead of they would just rather lose him for nothing.
I like that.
Y'all
When
think
we
those
was doing
Klay
our
Thompson?
when we was doing our trades and stuff, did y'all ever think about that? Like, this team would have sent him like down
Absolutely.
the street or anything.
Yeah,
like
That's
that.
why I never
100%.
thought Mikal Bridges would be a Knick.
Yeah, the same.
I never thought Mikal
Literally.
Bridges would be a Knick.
Yeah. I would have never considered Mikal as a Knick.
Yeah,
I
because
guess the
it's
package is too good.
it's no way
5
we over
first
there
rounders.
we over there killing, doing our thing. We got all the Nova boys and everybody on social media is talking about, man, they just need the last one. And then I'm just knowing the Nets are watching that like they're gonna have a long time before they get them. Last thing we doing is letting them.
That's the last thing I'm doing. Is I'm finna send one of my, especially if it's one of my better players, to another person in my division. I
Yeah.
want to see him focus.
Not only my division, right across the
across
water.
the
yeah,
street.
right across the street.
That's probably a big reason
stay
why
at
they
the
was
same
able to
house.
leverage 5 first-round picks from them.
Well, he wanted to go to the Knicks.
Yeah, that's also
So,
true.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, let's get into that trade thing. Unless we got anything else to say about the
I
Atlanta
just,
Hawks Pelicans.
I'm just expecting the Hawks fire sale. I'm expecting Clint Capella. I'm expecting
If
Hunter.
they don't make something happen, I think it is too good. Just looking like at the roster, especially after what they did last year,
Probably
I'm
not
not
keeping
expecting.
Nance.
I'm not even expecting them to be like a certified playoff team. And at that point, it's either you got to make something happen or you just kind of go rebuild and probably trade.
Yeah,
don't know,
because
bro.
that conference finals the fantasy run is over.
Damn.
I read that the Lakers shouldn't expect to get him since he ain't with Clutch no more.
Is he CAA now? Yeah, I feel like everybody goes from clutch to CAA. That's just the way it goes. It's like the eventual thing. But you also have to remember they're in the Eastern Conference, and the East sucks. It's top heavy as
yeah.
hell.
I did say that in my video. Maybe they going with the less is more theory.
Yeah, the Bulls are going to take a backseat. They're going to be bad, and that's the team you automatically jump. Then at that point, you're at the 9th seed at the worst. At the absolute
Is that
worst,
what
you're the
you
9th
just-
seed.
Yeah,
But
I don't know if that's
they don't have the
Do you
same
think-
team.
Do you think the Pistons are going to be better? They probably be slightly better, but not enough.
I'm
to-
not worried about them.
The Wizards,
Not worried
the
about
Hornets,
them. Not worried
the
about them.
Raptors.
Hornets depend on the health.
Not worried about them.
Yeah, the
The
Hornets all
Nets?
depend on LaMelo.
The Nets.
Oh,
not
man,
worried
hell-
about
hell
So
no.
that's
It's
5
already
teams.
5 teams.
That's
Don't
5
sleep on
teams.
Cam Johnson now.
Yeah.
He's gonna not be on that team.
East, as long as you're solid, you might be a play-in team.
Is Cam Johnson going to be a guy that's drafted in fantasy way higher than he should be just because he's going to take a million shots?
Well,
a
him
game?
and Cam Thomas.
I don't think Cam Johnson gonna be on that team.
True. You're
There's
right.
no way he's on that team.
You're right. They're
Seen the
fielding
Mavericks
offers.
was
You're
looking at
absolutely
him.
right.
To Kings. Hey,
Oh, I said the
are we
Kings,
writing
yeah.
the Bulls off completely?
Yes.
You ain't trading Zach LaVine.
King of the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
still
you might
there.
still have DeMar. You're saying you're trying to shop Vucevic. Nobody's buying that.
Write them off. Because
Kobe
even
White-
if they all
Kobe
bring them
White-
back, they're bad. They're still going to be bad.
I guess it depends on like the leap of Kobe White.
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're finna run the East.
Yeah, but no.
because the East is so bad,
They're
y'all
still
still
gonna
be
be
10 seed.
They
Y'all
can still be a
five
playing
seed.
team.
Yeah. Yep.
And you know the front office, they happy as hell with that.
You take what you just
Right.
said. You take the Nets out of that conclusion. You take the Bulls are still right there. Like,
DeMar is going to be gone.
hey,
It seems like it's like that, but I don't know.
It depends
I
on what
just-
happens with Paul George.
Yeah, I just don't know what his market is.
That Paul George is his market.
I agree.
Whatever. If Paul George is traded to the Warriors, he is now a
Clipper.
76er type of guy, a Clipper type of guy. One of these teams with cap space. Paul George holds everybody's.
you know
future.
what I'm hoping
I hope
not
DeMar don't end up on the
happens.
Sixers.
You heard what?
DeMar don't end up on the Sixers.
Why?
This doesn't sound like a good fit.
I completely disagree.
I think it'll be okay. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody can really shoot.
They
I
have
mean, even
space around
JoJo can shoot the ball.
Yeah, I think if you look at like we've seen DeMar DeRozan be cool.
The Bulls had negative space, and he still averaged 25 a game. It's not going to prevent them from doing anything. And you don't ask him to take the end of the game shot. He third on the pillar
He
list.
gonna take it though if he gets defended.
Just don't pass it to him. Just like you. We gonna keep bringing up these pro-am stuff. Don't give Mike the ball with
Bro,
6 seconds left. He's
that
gonna
man-
he gonna
Oh, yeah.
choke. He gonna fumble. He gonna do
You
something
are
stupid.
crazy with that. I don't know what be going on with you, but it's like, boy, when you get that ball,
I'll be going. For
he's
the home
have
run
one
shot.
track mind. He don't care what happens.
Or the time that he don't have a one-track man, he draws up the worst possible play.
Let's
A
give
dude
it to
with
John
25
with no
layup.
layup.
Go get the ball at the post. Go get the ball
So
at the
this
post.
sounds like gearing up for 2K25. Mike is a point forward and less of a actual guard.
No, because I feel like that one series we won the
That little
championship,
Tyrese
he was
Haliburton?
playing
He
very,
was.
like the passing was immaculate.
I told somebody else that in the chat. It was like, what build is that? I'm like, that's the build that has changed Mike's game.
Well, you know what
It
he said
is.
to me yesterday?
He followed
What?
that.
He
He
said he
followed
wants
that.
to make a center now. Make his first center of the year.
No, I can't make no center. But to quickly follow up with that, after he said that Mike made his best passing bit or whatever, he said he has revitalized Kyron to play this game.
I did.
Kyron be up there every night talking about where y'all hooping,
That
man.
man, Mike, single-handedly revitalized that man's career. Is there anybody in the NBA who's revitalized somebody or revived somebody? Just off the top of your head.
I feel like if there's somebody, it's probably LeBron, right? Has LeBron?
Oh, I'm sorry. He is Steph, Draymond, and Klay to Wiggins.
Wiggins. That's the
To
first thing that
Wiggins?
came to mind.
Yeah, I like that.
Kyron has been Wiggins. I mean, besides the time when I guarded him,
Kyron
he
is-
turned into
He had
Kyron is Wiggins is a really good comp.
Yes, bro.
That's a really good comp.
when we won that championship together, just as numbers on the board, Kyron looked like Andrew Wiggins at All-Star year.
Yeah. And then the day after that, he had 4 points in the closeout game. Wiggins. that's Wiggins, bro. He's Wiggins. All right, let's get to the Mikal Bridges trade. I kind of forget what it was. I know it's 5.
So it's
Yeah, go
Mikal
ahead, break it down.
Bridges. It's the 5 picks.
Yep. 20, 25, 27, 29, 31, and then 1 from the Bucks.
4 unprotected.
4 unprotected.
Bojan Bogdanovic.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. I
And we
read
get
that
Mikal Bridges.
Deuce McBride was in the trade for a couple minutes,
Yeah, for some reason, like contractually.
Yeah.
Or some I don't know what ended up happening.
and that died. I haven't seen anything since that, so thank God. Because Deuce is one of them
Get to keep
New
Deuce.
York type of guys.
Yeah, I think this is an amazing trade for both sides. If you know, I've been hyper critical about Sean Marks to the Nets and how they've navigated the Mikal Bridges thing. Even Joe Tsai, like a couple months ago, was like, "Man, we gonna build with the long game and everything," and that just kind of turned me off because I felt like you was losing your value of getting a return like this. But luckily, and I really do say this, not to take anything away from them, but they should thank Mikal Bridges, because if Mikal Bridges didn't tell them, I want to be a Knick, they maybe would have held a little bit longer and lost the opportunity to get 5 first-round picks, 4 unprotected. I don't know what the Knicks are going to look like in 2031, 2029. The way the NBA is, who knows what the hell the Knicks are going to look like in 2027.
Yeah.
So this is a very, 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 very big step for them. I know we can talk about us getting Mikal Bridges for days, but just from their standpoint, they absolutely crushed it. I think you can flip Bojan. I think you can flip Dorian and Cam. And I think also the trade later with the Rockets to regain the control of their future was also big.
Was
so
the thing.
shout out to them, man.
Yeah,
for them to be where we was like, what are they doing? And to this, major props.
I read that the Knicks trade doesn't happen if it wasn't for the Houston Rockets agreeing to send them back their own 2025.
I seen that too.
Because there's no reason to tank, and this goes back to the Atlanta Hawks conversation with Trae Young. If you don't own your first round pick, there's no reason to tank. Now the Brooklyn Nets in history have done it before with the Kevin Garnett thing. They bit the bullet and tanked, and that's how Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum ended up being top 3 picks. But to get your own pick in this draft that's widely considered one of the better drafts in the last 10 years or so is huge, because now you can tell your fan base, hey, we brought in a big 3. Every other team in basketball would have done the same shit that we did. Then a global pandemic happened, and one of our star players decided that he'd rather not, go through some certain stuff. We traded for James Harden, which was a good bet. And when we were healthy, every team was afraid of us. That failed. We transitioned that period when we have 2 years, we're like, everybody's questioning what the hell we're doing. And now everybody knows what we're doing. And everybody's like, that's probably the best thing to do going into this draft. So that's huge, Sean Marks. We got to tip the hat to him. I thought that was it's an A+ deal for them. They got 9 first-round picks right now for Kevin Durant.
Plus. This is
also,
like
with that thing
trade
we were talking about how the Rockets had gave back their pick, didn't the Nets traded the Suns pick?
Yeah.
So the Rockets is like, maybe the Suns will do the same thing.
We want
get
Kevin Durant.
but they said we're not trading Kevin Durant.
Oh,
So
they not trading him right now.
Matt Ishbia said, nah.
I just like how
It wouldn't even make.
how it all played
I
out.
would be so confused if the Suns traded him right now.
I wouldn't. Their team
I
sucks.
wouldn't either. Yeah, the team sucks.
I mean, you don't just run it for 1 year and be like, yep, that's it.
I
I just don't see teams do that. They don't make a
you're
trade
saying, okay.
Teams
Progressive teams would.
after one season of. And you really didn't get to see you saw the big 3 in the playoffs, but like throughout the regular season, Bradley Beal was
The
hurt.
problem ain't the
Devin
big
Booker
3.
was hurt.
The problem ain't the
is
big
their
3.
salary is just literally
Yes.
handicapped.
Yeah.
by 3
You can't
people.
do anything else.
You have a second apron team with no role players.
And it's because of the big 3 contract. It has nothing. It's not. You
not
don't
the
do
big
that
3,
trade
yeah.
because you think Devin Booker ain't on shit. You don't do that trade because you think Kevin Durant ain't on shit. You don't do that trade because I know Bradley Beal contract is big, but it ain't because it's like, oh, Bradley Beal is the worst player in the league. You do it because when you put those 3 guys on the court, your options at these other spots are Nurkic, Bball, Josh Okogie. Like, these are your options. And then on top of that, dude, Eric Gordon said, I'm out. And you was able to bring back.
Opt out too.
Huh?
Josh Okogie opted out too.
I would hope so, because that shit was not.
Hopped it in.
But he was with the Brooklyn Nets. He got traded.
Oh, yeah.
So when it said when he opted in is with the Nets. So again, and it's no disrespect to any of those guys that I named, but when you have those big 3, they aren't the best complementary pieces, and they didn't do a good job of trying to fill that before they went and got Bradley Beal. So now that's why.
But you are right, though. New owner syndrome. Matt Ishbia is not going to admit that he was wrong. He's not going to do it in the first year.
And what is that going to do?
Prolong it.
And that's why I think progressive team, like the Miami Heat situation, theoretically, there's no reason for us to be talking about the Jimmy Butler thing. But Jimmy Butler wants the extension. Jimmy Butler has done right, by them. They've got to the conference finals and everything in the finals. Most organizations at this point rewards a player for the things that they do. The Miami Heat are like, man, if we being real, as we love what was been going on, there's a ceiling to this team. We made those runs. Realistically, we was the less favorable in both of those championships. The ceiling to this team ain't it. Jimmy Butler ain't playing a certain amount of games that we want from a guy that we're going to be paying that type of money to. Them doing that is going to force Jimmy Butler to have to be traded or take the contract on the terms that they want. And it's going to allow them to not pigeonhole themselves into a situation where they looking back like, man, why we do this shit?
Right.
So I agree with both of y'all. It ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
But if it did happen, I would be like, man, look at it. Look at them not falling into the trap of we going to run it back. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, because theoretically, man, as an owner, you gonna get your money. You gonna get your money. You just gotta be patient. But you gonna get your money. I ain't never, you know what I'm saying? Like, people gonna go to the NBA games and shit like that. You gonna get your money. So I don't know. And Kevin Durant is not a guy that's finna sit around. I'm sorry. He might try to this last year.
Point.
Yeah, he 36. The worst thing he could have ever done, he did already. Nothing is gonna top the Warrior stuff as far as public perception. If this man came out today, right now, Kevin Durant has requested a trade, I would not give a single damn. I would stand up in this and clap. I'm tired of seeing him in a Suns jersey. It is the shittiest shit ever. That shit just does not look right. I feel like I'm playing on my league, and you had the Suns and drafted
I'm gonna
them.
disagree. I'm gonna say I feel like it became that way once Bradley Beal joined the team. When it was D-Book and KD and there was a little bit more pieces around him, I feel like I didn't mind it as much.
Yeah.
Oh no, for sure. It's the contract. I'm saying though, as a fan watching, Kevin Durant in the Suns jersey has never clicked for me. It has never been like, oh, when he was with the Nets and he went to number 7, that ain't look that bad. The Warriors kind of took me some time, but like this, I don't know if I'm ever get used to this. I would much rather see him in a Rockets uniform for whatever reason.
It be like that for some players.
I thought Russell Westbrook was going to decline his option and go
too.
and get some rumors with the Suns. He just picked it up. He's going to be with the Clippers.
Or he picked it up so they could trade him.
That too. I don't know anybody.
Because the moment last night D'Lo opted in, then there's more immediately rumors start circling around about.
But before
the
he
Lakers.
opted in, it said when he opted in, the Lakers are going to try to trade him as well. Which is why when he joined and they gave his quote, I was kind of confused because it said something like
he happy to play with JJ Redick or something like that. Yeah, I saw that too.
Because I'm like, D'Lo, I don't know, brother. Maybe you ain't see the reports that I did, but it said they're waiting on you to opt in to then pursue the trade you. And then it doubled down.
Aggressively,
and it came out today aggressively.
Just don't know who that would be.
Because they believe that the backcourt has a ceiling, and obviously they think that AR, younger or whatever, could do his thing. So, yeah.
I don't hope the Atlanta Hawks sell him.
Clint Capella?
Because I don't know other teams out here that's like, you know what I'm saying? For D'Angelo Russell trade, you're going to have to settle for Mr. Number 8, Flight 8.
The Warriors could move Klay Thompson via sign and trade. Woj.
Let's get back to we didn't even talk about the Knicks side of the
we just
Bro,
locked
when
and
I
loaded.
first seen this, it's just like the first thing that came to my mind is like, bro, these Knicks did it again. It's just straight greed. Y'all had already just got
It's
OG.
straight greed.
Straight greed.
It's greed?
Y'all had OG. Now y'all picking up McKay. Y'all got two, probably one of the best.
Y'all have
league
had
defenders.
Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
We are talking about current day
James
situation.
Worthy, Magic Johnson,
Is
Gail
what the
Goodrich.
what the Boston Celtics did greed as well?
Yeah, a little bit. But the Knicks were already
We are
on that
not on their
trajectory
level as far
too.
as talent. We just got to. I don't think you could call what we did greed because number one, when we went out and got Brunson, everybody was laughing and saying that shit wasn't gonna be on nothing, right?
Not us though.
We took a chance. I don't remember anybody up here. You're right.
Nobody thought he was a superstar, but nobody just like bad trade. Nobody said bad.
No,
contract.
yeah.
Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, they played over themselves last year. Like they played outside of what we've ever seen from
They
them.
exceeded expectation.
That's just about a fit thing. Mikal Bridges, incredible. OG Anunoby, incredible.
He still got Julius
We
Randle
still got
coming
Julius
back in. He
Randle.
could be moved, but Julius Randle that's still an all NBA player right there.
Yeah,
Mitchell
but as good as
Robinson.
Mitchell,
It don't matter if it's Mitchell Robinson
Or
or Isaiah
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein.
Yeah.
That's still very
as good as
defense
OG
down
and
low.
Mikal are,
Yeah.
individually, they're just good.
No,
Together, it turns into greatness. But I don't know how you could say we greedy.
It's a little greedy.
It's all about doing things right with fit.
They gave up a lot to get him.
We
though,
did.
So it
Yeah,
ain't like
they
it
did.
was
They just
pennies on the
signed all
dollar.
right.
Yeah, that's a hefty package. And it's the first time we've seen Leon Rose go all in like this. Like Leon Rose has been a meticulous guy, sign somebody here.
I think
and he
this year
turns into
showed
great.
them.
Literally what I was about to say. If anything, after what I've seen in the playoffs and what I've seen from Jalen Brunson, and not even from like my guaranteed starters like Josh Hart, Dante DiVincenzo, they gonna come hoop.
You know what I also love about this offseason? This is the first time, and I know this has always existed, but this is the first time, and you so lucky you got that. Because in a minute, I'm finna order something, Austin. You might have to go get it because I'm having a headache. All that champagne I drunk when I was realizing we so damn good with this Mikal.
Y'all are third in championship odds right now.
This is, again, I know this has existed, but it just feels like it's more evident now in today's game or today's free agency. Teams are also, I feel like, doing shit so other teams can't. And again, I know this has always existed, but like we have to double down and pay all of that money to OG because it's like if we don't, he can go to the 76ers. We got to go get Mikal so nobody else can go get him. You heard the Nuggets are not doing a sign and trade with KCP because they're not sending him to the
Mavericks.
The Mavericks. You know what I'm saying? Like you hearing all these different things. So it's like I love the state of the NBA because everybody is watching and competing and like, man, no, we ain't doing this because we don't want him to get, so this is just beautiful. I love the move, though. We are locked and loaded. I don't know what's happening with Julius Randle. I'm not saying that he needs and absolutely has to be traded, but you have to wonder.
It makes me wonder, yeah. Because I would want to see him just to see the feel of it, because I've seen times where I feel like he's went into that scoring bag because at that point, sometimes he needed to.
Absolutely.
He was the creator for your team, but now you can maybe see a different version where he is rebounding.
I think he will come in with
a little bit more playmaking wise.
If he was to come back, I wouldn't be mad at it because of a couple things. I think he hasn't played in a while that will put a chip on his shoulder. And number two, I think he understands the tone around his name. We just had one of our best years, probably our best year in a very long time. If he come back, and that shit don't end up being the way it needs to be, it's going to be a huge reflection on him and the perception of him. To come back to a team like this and you mess up the flow, oh my gosh, bro, that can ruin the perception of your career for the rest of your career unless you went somewhere and was just heroic. So I think we could get a reformed Julius Randle. I'm willing to do anything because we know the potential of this team, and I also don't want to be the guy.
He had a little bit less of those just WTF moments or like crazy shots, and it was more so just like
control,
the better play in the
control. I think you got objectively going to have to do it because you just have so much talent.
You do.
Yeah.
Whereas a couple shots that he's going to have to sacrifice.
For sure.
That might be the turnaround mid-range jump shot with a hand in his face.
His value will probably go up too. Like those are the conversations I can't wait to ask, like Gilbert Arenas or players in the future of like, when you are in that situation, do players and agents or are agents telling you and trying to get you to understand that it can make your value go up? I know sometimes you fall in love with the numbers, and numbers will do that too. But like showing that you can coexist on a team like this, maybe would make the perception of your value go up instead of being like, man, he's a ball stopper, he's a vibe killer, he's not a lot, he's not willing to buy in, he doesn't understand it. In this team, he's not really the number one. Those are the things that I feel like hurt you, because then it's like the reality is, as good as Julius Randle is, he's not going to be a number one option on a championship team.
Yeah.
I think this would probably be, even if he doesn't continue to be on the Knicks for like a very long time, this could be the chance that he does get to like show exactly what you're talking about, because other teams can look at that.
Yeah.
And I think the question was before, just like, when he comes to your team, what Julius Randle are we getting? And I think that he's like a number two, but a number one, trying to be the number one option. I feel like if he kind of solidifies what role he can be for a winning team, other teams might be able to buy in.
I got a question for you and y'all too, as well, as y'all jump in. When you look around the NBA and how stacked it's become, because if you have these contending teams, you have 2 or 3 good guys. And if you're at the bottom, you usually have a young guy who looks like it can be one of those top guys. What team could Julius Randle go to and even be a number one option?
I was thinking, when y'all keep talking about him, thinking about Trae, I'm trying to figure out what.
Well, he can go be a number one option? Maybe just like Chicago.
When I think of it, like
he could probably go there and be a number one option.
On this current team?
Miami, you said?
Chicago.
Oh.
On that current team?
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming DeMar's gone.
You think the Bulls would prioritize Julius Randle over Kobe White as far as?
No, but I'm just saying, like, on the court-wise, he's probably going to be the better talent, and he's going to still get the numbers and put up all NBA-type numbers.
I think that's the point I'm making.
I was going to literally say, I think you proving his point.
When you go to a team like the Bulls, he probably would be the better talent right now.
How do you think they go? How far do you think they go?
No,
not even far, but
they'll be a playing. They'll be a playing type team. I don't think he's the number one option that can catapult you into like you a solidified playoff team.
For sure.
Nah.
I just think that the Bulls at this state, Vucevic trying to get him on, trying to get him gone, maybe parting ways with DeMar. They would trade Zach if they really could, but it seems like they just can't.
Yeah.
It seems like their priority would go to Modest, Kobe White, Patrick Williams, versus making Julius Randle the number one option, which is why I'm saying it's a hard thing for him, because these top-end teams, the players are better than him. And then the bottom-end teams where he would be the better talent and probably would be the number one option, are they prioritizing making him that? The Pistons. He would be one of the best players on the Pistons. But they have Cade Cunningham, who they're going to say, it's more valuable for us to let Cade Cunningham be that versus letting Julius Randle get 26 and 12 and we win 3-1 games.
Yeah, I just don't really see it. It's hard to gauge Julius Randle's market.
I think that's why KD was like, I don't know what team, the Hornets, he would go and be one of the top players on the Hornets. But is that valuable for them?
Yeah. And I don't think he realized how good, if he does go to New York and he messes up the vibes and everything, he don't realize how good he has it then. because like he's in such a great situation where he can go and play at a high level and
He can win a
contribute to winning.
championship on this team.
Yeah, and like if he just buys into the whole culture and doing all the little things that can help you win a game, he could really just change his whole perception and be a winning player. Where if you come in and messes up, I could ship you to a team you probably don't even want to be on, and you just get forgotten about.
So the same thing what I just said. No, I was just messing with you.
I can't wait to watch the screen navigation, OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges on the court together.
Oh,
Shit is going to be
KB
unfair.
is gonna be crazy.
It's going to be unfair, bro. It's going to be unfair.
And
They
Miles
even need to
Brad too.
navigate the screen, especially if they side by side. Just switch it.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
got it.
Oh,
Every team
man.
is
You
going to be
got
trying
it.
to hunt Jalen Brunson, and they're not going to be able to because these dudes navigate screens
That
so
shit
well.
is
They went out and got a
crazy.
trade that essentially helps them be able to compete with the Celtics.
I mean, because you got
Because like
two
you have
wings that have
yeah,
complete
you have
defense
great,
on other versus
you have
other
excellent,
wings.
excellent, top
Excellent.
tier wing
We could
defenders,
have
to
competed
really
with
go-
the Celtics last year, but
to really compete with the Celtics.
injuries.
That's really what they did. I mean,
No, we want to win the finals. We want
you have
to
to go
compete
through-
with everybody.
you got to go to the Celtics.
We
to
want
get there.
no, we would have to go through a Western Conference team.
No, you had to go through the Celtics to get there.
No, to get there, but to win it, we have to be the Western Conference team to be the champion.
Yeah, I know, but essentially you make that trade so you can.
We want to win the championship. We want to
No,
beat everybody.
Who's y'all picking a 7 right now between those two Eastern Conference
The
teams?
Celtics. As
the
of
New
right
York
now.
Knicks. No, I'm just joking. I haven't seen the Knicks
I haven't
play
seen the
yet,
Knicks
so I got to
play.
go Celtics.
So-
On paper, I'm going to Knicks. But again, because we haven't seen them play, somebody ain't gonna have the same year. That's even Vincenzo, Josh Hart. Something ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? And I don't. You know.
Yeah,
what-
right now I would have to go Celtics, but I wouldn't say the Knicks get swept.
we want to beat everybody, Derrick. We want to run the NBA
I hope so. Shit,
because we felt like we could have competed with the Celtics last year as long as we was healthy. But it's a part
Yeah.
of the game, so we wasn't. We
Okay.
wouldn't have got swept like the boys in yellow and blue. I'll tell you that.
What was that about on SmackDown yesterday?
Yeah, talk to me.
Oh, that was amazing. It was so unexpected.
Yeah.
I remember at the beginning they showed Jalen Brunson in the crowd. I was like, "Oh, JB in the building." I thought he was just vibing.
Right.
And then Logan Paul comes out to his music and everything, and then he gets on the mic and he said, "MSG, I got Tyrese Haliburton." He said, "No, he said I got somebody who know how to
voice
win
was
at
perfect,
MSG."
bro.
And he said, "I got Tyrese Haliburton with me."
Man,
and then
that
they
script
started
writing
booing
is-
him.
Was Jalen Brunson reading off a script, or did he remember his lines?
Jalen Brunson never spoke.
Oh,
It's just-
no, I saw him mouthing things, but yeah, he didn't get on the mic. But I did see him mouthing things. Too.
Oh, he probably was just
him and Haliburton
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started cracking up laughing when I just seen him walking with that chair, bro.
Y'all saw Knicks fans getting the furry because he put his hand down.
Yeah.
Yeah. They thought he messed up his hand.
Yeah.
But he tweeted it out that night that
Yes, I'm
he
good.
all good.
Right, sit y'all ass
I hope
down.
Adam Silver was watching. That shit was more entertaining than anything the All-Star Weekend has done over the last couple of
So
years.
WWE and NBA need to collab at All-Star
Something.
Weekend.
Gotta be
something.
dope because we'll be in that movie.
I was hoping one of them took. I was like, I wanted them going to take a bump. Are they going to do something?
No, I was just no way. I was gonna say they had to be training for that and everything like that.
I would have. In that situation, don't take a bump. Why don't y'all just slap one another? Somebody do something.
Just
like,
slap them.
like do
How
something.
can you convince one of them to take a
Yes.
slap?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, we want you to look like a punk.
Yeah.
Don't
In
get
your own
slapped
city.
and hold your face.
But yeah, that was dope. I'm happy.
That was
with
actually
that was
cool
cool.
and creative. I like that. We already know it's fake, so just amplify the fakeness.
Yeah, you brought in two other rivals, essentially.
Let me go
the
on
Knicks
there.
and the Pacers are low-key building a little rivalry over there.
I'm gonna have a weapon though. My weapon gonna be a gun. But the character can come back alive because it's fake. My finishing move is to. But no, yeah, I think we good. The last thing I will say about Julius Randle, as a fan, I want him to be able to have a chance because Julius Randle gave us a breath of fresh air in a time when New York was really bad. He was
did.
the one thing we could cling on to, and he kind of kickstarted this whole revolution of the Knicks being all right. So I would love to see him have an opportunity versus, he didn't get to be a part of this last one because he was hurt, and then now we give him a care, and it's like, hey,
Y'all small ball lineup can be very fun, man.
you keep saying this. I don't want Julius Randle playing the five.
I'm just saying, close out games. You're probably going to put Randle at the 5. That's just what a lot of teams do. A lot of teams, they start in power forward unless you have an elite center. Eventually down to such a game.
Isaiah Hartenstein was doing just fine.
You move him to the 5.
James Wiseman is not getting a qualifying offer. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent, fellas.
Damn, I definitely thought he was gonna stay there.
What made you think that?
I'm joking. Nobody gives a damn
Who
about
Is he crazy? He said that so sarcastically.
Is this age of Rich Paul?
I was about to say the
If so,
Lakers
Rich Paul
going to
will
get a
get
quick
him a-
little
Rich
center,
Paul
but I
will
don't
get
even
him
want to
a
put that
job.
in the air.
Is he? There's no way he's with Rich Paul.
He's
No
gonna
way.
get a job. He's a
He
top
is,
3 pick from.
but
a
there's
few
no
years
way
back.
he's
No.
with Rich Paul. He was putting out the Drew Walls videos. No way Rich Paul
yeah.
signed off on that.
You know, I don't mind that type of stuff. What bothers me is the last shot of him sitting on TV and laughing.
Now
That's the part
that took me
that
over
bothers
too.
me.
That was crazy. But yeah, you reading. I can believe you reading. But he's like, ah.
Yeah, that's just
Nah.
too much.
Points at the TV.
That's too much, man.
He did point at the TV, right?
No, I'm saying literally,
Yeah.
who points at the
If he
TV
pointed
while
at
you laughing? That's
Like-
such a cartoon thing.
Because it had a shot that was him sitting on the couch, and then obviously they moved the camera to his left side to get a profile, and they were like 3, 2, 1, go. Ah,
you know
like,
what
bro,
else be
that's
killing me?
too
Have you ever
much.
seen somebody, they do that type of stuff, but they'll have they'll put their phone down on the little nightstand. They'll go to back in bed and act like they waking up.
Yeah.
Oh.
The waking up thing is always weird.
Somebody we know did that
Definitely did.
at his video, at his vlog.
Who did?
Anwar.
Oh yeah.
I think at the beginning of Anwar's vlog, he like this.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
And then he go right everything back to
His editing was crazy.
Editing
yeah, that was
crazy.
his best video for sure. Yeah, shout out to Weezy. All right, we're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we got rumor mills.
Sure.
No, that means no. And in the offseason,
It's
he
a
did
day
not.
before the free agency period. We ain't got. No
I got him.
rumors.
I got him. I
We're
got
gonna
him.
take a break though.
Why should you bet with Caesars Sportsbook? 2 words, Caesars Rewards. Every bet brings you closer to the type of benefits only Caesars can offer. Hotel stays, VIP experiences, sports and concert tickets, and more. It's not just an app, it's an empire.
Yeah, man, it's some crazy stuff might happen. Would y'all be surprised if Dejounte and Mikal Bridges are the best names moved this
Yes.
year?
Paul George has to get him.
Yeah.
I would be so mad if Paul George goes back to the Clippers.
Same.
Yeah.
It just seems like that relationship doesn't seem like it's working right now. So
What?
like Paul George and the Clippers.
I saw Brian Wentworth say he still think the Clippers are the highest to get him
The
back,
reason
and
I
that
would think the
made me
Clippers
so mad.
the Clippers are though, is just also because it's home too.
Yeah.
You know? That's one of the biggest things for me.
San Francisco not that far away.
It's not. It's not that
we,
far
we took
away.
that drive.
Yeah,
now imagine
you
if you
can
rich
drive.
and you can get a private flight.
He did in 10 minutes.
At least you know Steph probably gonna play in the playoffs.
Yeah,
Damn.
got to get there though. But
So
But
some of the rumors we got going on.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook is going back with them.
Mhm.
Kevin Love is
it's an
back
hour
with
flight,
them.
by the way, between San Francisco and Vegas, Los Angeles.
That's us to Cleveland.
Yep,
They could do that on a game basis, honestly.
good.
The Klay Thompson could have a sign and trade.
Yeah.
It says that, I feel like everybody already kind of speculating the Klay Thompson stuff, but the report that I am reading says they think his future in Golden State is very tenuous.
and one of the teams that's like favored to sign a trade for him is Dallas.
Dallas, Orlando,
I keep seeing
Denver got
Orlando
involved.
with everything.
Yeah.
Say it again.
I keep seeing Orlando and all the talks of getting Klay Thompson.
They just turned down the not qualifying, but the team option on Joe Ingles, which I think gives them $44 million in cap space now. And if they did the same thing to Mo Wagner, it would give them $50 million. And they also have $17 million on a non-guaranteed to Jonathan Isaac, but we
I'd be
know
surprised they did it
Jonathan
with,
Isaac.
well, I'd be
They're gonna
surprised
probably
if-
keep the Wagners,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they like Mo Wagner. He
$44
was really-
million
he did
is
really
still
well
more
for-
than enough.
Yeah, for Klay Thompson.
Or to no.
Not even for yeah.
Yeah,
To spread out or do whatever you
Yeah.
need. 44. See, yeah, he wish he getting that 44.
Other things and other news, it's real slow right now.
The Lauri Markkanen news is the best one of the day.
That they're shopping him.
That they're collecting.
They're
calls.
listening. Yeah, they're listening.
They
to
saw
calls
when
on
Mikal
Lauri.
Bridges got traded for it. It was like, we kind of want that too.
And I like that because you want to keep him, but you just can't ignore what the market is saying.
Who got
That's what I have
Who
saw.
got the draft capital for that?
OKC.
Oh, yeah.
OKC can throw them more.
You know what?
picks.
Just keep stacking the teams up.
And OKC
Why not?
got-
Yeah.
Keep stacking
OKC
the
got
teams
30-some
up.
picks.
They can do it, bro.
OKC got so many picks that they brought in 3 rookies in this year's class, and I don't think they wanted to. I'm serious. Like they got Nikola Topic. He's a red shirt year because he's not going to play. That felt like, okay, cool. We ain't got to worry about getting him minutes. They brought in AJ Mitchell, who I'm a big fan of, and then they brought in Dylan Jones from Weber State. I just feel like that they didn't want to make those picks, but they had to. And I think next year they have 5 first-round picks in 2025.
They getting rid of those.
Some of them are protected.
Yeah, some of those you keep because it's supposed to be a really good draft class.
Some of those are protected, but still 5. It's just.
But at some point,
That's
you just
too
can't. You
much.
can't just bring in. Yeah, you just can't keep bringing in lottery picks.
Yeah, it's just so much,
At
bro.
some point, all those lottery picks just
Even
they're not gonna
non-lottery picks,
develop.
though. Even non-lottery picks, just first-round picks in general.
And
5 of them.
This is not a team that was like borderline playing. This team was in basically close to the Western Conference Finals.
My dad called me yesterday excited because he liked the Warriors. He like, man, I know OKC be having these guys, man. Tell me what's up with Lindy Waters. We got it from OKC.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
like, he can shoot. He can shoot. He
I'm
ain't-
surprised there's no Houston Lauri Markkanen buzz, considering they're
Would they
still
give
trying
Jabbar?
to buy. Ooh, that's a good question.
I don't know. I kind of like Jabbar.
I love Jabari.
Right.
He
But
does
where
so
does
much
Lauri
for you
Markkanen
defensively.
play?
The 3.
Dylan Brooks, where does he play?
The bench.
You be all right.
He said the bench.
The bench is crazy.
I'm just thinking about other teams that have draft capital. It's not many. I mean, like everybody's buying right now, so it's not a lot of teams with a bunch of draft capital to throw away.
You heard what they were trying to do? They were trying to pair him and Mikal up.
Yes, but it got too rich for them. And then Mikal Bridges was like, no, it's
I
New
wanna be a
York.
Knick.
Yeah, it's New York, please. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Could the 76ers?
LeBron James officially has opted out,
Oh.
but it's official. That he opted out.
Philly.
Look, Mike picked up that phone fast as hell.
I don't want to read it.
They don't draft Bron.
Brian said, I just wanted to get my son on the team, man. I'm gone now.
He
Nah,
did
that'd
the
be
good old
crazy.
Damian Lillard, Jeremy Grant.
Yeah. Get my man's paid and I'm
Get
out.
my man Spade.
Bron ain't even signed that damn contract yet.
That's another guy I expect to be on the move. I want to see what's up with Jeremy Grant, him and Kyle Kuzma. Is Brogdon going to stay with the Wizards? It's a lot. The Denny
Wizards
trade.
Yeah. The Wizards keeping Brogdon just wouldn't even make sense. Move him.
I think Tyus Jones is a free agent, right?
Tyus, yep.
So maybe it does make sense
You
to
keep
just
a point
him,
guard
just
for
to have
like
a point
the young
guard.
guys. Yeah.
But he might get moved at like the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
rather
that's what I'm
than-
saying. If anything, you just move him a little bit later.
But then again, that's the idea of Malcolm Brogdon. His ass is never healthy at the deadline. To
Never.
Get
Yeah, you
never
might as well
healthy.
just move him now. I'm guessing he was remotely healthy.
Yeah, he got to be right. It's been so long since he's played.
Who are teams that you think could trade with the Lakers for D'Lo?
That was,
Honestly, I think
couldn't the Warriors get involved in the Lauri Markkanen front?
they could. They're gonna have young players that they would want. They do
I would
still
like
have their
that.
draft capital. Wiggins, y'all see the Wiggins story?
Yeah, with no Team Canada.
Yeah, so like he wants to play
Yeah.
Team Canada and
and
everything.
then the Warriors are blocking him.
But then again, I also read that
Mutual.
you can't do that. Literally, like it's against the rules of the NBA to prevent a player from playing for his home country. There are reports that it's mutual, but also reports that Wiggins is pissed right now. So I don't know what to believe.
Is he
how
more
we
so
got
upset that they haven't gotten a deal done?
What deal?
like a trade?
Yeah,
Oh.
where he
No
can't
idea.
go play. Because the main reason why they don't want him to play, obviously, because if he gets hurt, they won't be able to trade him.
We have to believe that he is pissed, though, right? Because if he wasn't pissed, he probably, and the injury was that significant to him, he probably would have never been attempting to even play with them. That's what he did the last couple of years when they was doing a little, it wasn't the Olympics,
Yeah.
but
It's just some hypocrisy. Because Steve Kerr is the coach of Team USA and Steph Curry's on the team. So if they're out there telling him, no, you can't play for your home country, that's just,
well, Steph Curry ain't got no ankle injury that they.
I don't really care. I mean, if I am a guy that wants to play for my home country, Luka Doncic damn near has 6 broken ribs.
He's not getting traded.
But it doesn't matter.
To them, it does matter.
But it
'Cause,
should.
like-
It's against the rules.
But like, if he goes out there and get hurt, now they can't trade him. That's
who gives a fuck?
if it is
the
against,
Warriors
if,
do.
it,
So
if,
should he not work out at all
if
while
it-
he's on the
if
block?
it's against-
Should
Do
he
you
not
remember
go to
Damian
the gym?
Lillard said when he was about to get traded?
I'm not
that-
saying that it's
that
that
he
doesn't
didn't work out
like
at
that.
all?
I'm saying it's not. It shouldn't work like that.
Yeah, I just think
Should he just not be in the gym at all? Because he can sprain his ankle.
No.
We've seen people tear
No,
ACLs
no,
and
nobody's
just
saying
open
that.
runs.
no.
that is way less likely to happen in the gym versus you playing competitive basketball. That's
The
what we're
Olympics
saying.
doesn't start for about a month or so. You trying to tell me we don't believe we're gonna get the job done from now in a month? He can't go to the team training. He can't go to the first runs of Canada. And it's not like that's super heavy.
No,
They're telling
I
him
think
he can't be on the roster.
First of me and Darrick on the same side. We don't want him out of the.
yeah.
But we're just saying
I'm just
what
looking
it
at it
is,
from a business perspective,
which
as well.
you have to. And if it's against the rules, why is it happening?
I don't know.
So I mean, that's just it. Andrew Wiggins ain't gonna play. He probably pissed? He should be because it seemed like he was going to play. But at the same time, if it's against the rules, how are they doing it? Oh, then he probably is in cahoots with it. So I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
I feel like he probably wants to be traded too.
but all of those other examples,
You think so?
I didn't get that feeling.
Yeah, based on what?
all those other examples
Maybe.
that you use though don't correlate because Luka Doncic is not on the trade block. Steph Curry is not getting traded. So yeah, they can go play. But if you're about to get your ass traded and this is the business and we both feel like this is, not worth it, then that's what's gonna happen. But I read it and my first reaction was wow, because I want to see Team Canada at its fullest. Because even when they played FIBA, there were some guys that was missing. I was like, damn. I think RJ Barrett and Wiggins was missing, and I just was like, Jamal Murray was missing too. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, I want to see Team Canada at their fullest.
It's a very good roster if everybody's there.
Mm-hmm. But
one of the better ones in the world.
it
just doesn't make sense to me.
That's the part I'm confused. Why don't it make sense to you? They want to trade him. He has
regardless of if they want to trade him, right? We can all agree that if they are going to trade him, it would be between now and 2 weeks from now, right? The Olympics doesn't start for an entire month.
Yeah.
So telling him that he can't even go and he can't play, because they're not playing real basketball for a whole month.
No, but they're not going to play real basketball, but they are going to have high-level, intense scrimmages. That's what you do when you're preparing and prepping.
What I'm saying is, even if he's on the roster, he doesn't have to incorporate himself in the high-intensity part. Okay, we want to trade him? Sure. You can't actually play the full basketball until you get traded. But him not being able to be on the roster at all doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's just
the point. The point I'm saying is whether he's getting traded or not, okay, he could still not do high-intensity workouts or
is the
full
injury
scrimmage.
that significant?
It's not significant enough where he don't believe that he can play.
Well, there also is the report that is mutual. And if it's against the rules, then it has to be somewhat mutual because he's not doing it.
Maybe he's like slightly disgruntled as well because he's in trade rumors. Maybe he literally is like, okay, maybe I need a fresh start too. And he's like, I don't want to risk getting hurt.
I'm kind of with Darrick on the part
because that's going to hurt my trade value.
where he said maybe he want to be traded. I'm kind of on that front too. I'm not saying that he's saying that, but I don't think Andrew Wiggins is probably somewhere upset if he got traded. This past year was shit.
Yeah,
it's nothing there that makes me feel like everybody in that motherfucker is just happy. No, it's shit. It's shit. It's garbage. Everybody who not Steph Curry should not be comfortable. I mean, I guess Draymond should be comfortable because apparently he can do whatever the hell he want to do. He's the president around here. But everybody else is like, when they ain't reaching the success, it's their fault. And part of it is Wiggins did not have a good year.
Part of that
it did not have a good year, but everything is in flux. We don't know what's happening with here. Even the year before that, when Jordan Poole was there, Draymond in that punch situation, I'm sure the locker room that shit went no vibe. Yeah, get me the fuck out of here.
Did you see the Draymond stuff that was like, yeah, man, I was so pissed when Jordan Poole got that contract and I wasn't able to celebrate with him.
Yeah, I did see that.
Like, bro, what is you talking about?
I wasn't able to celebrate with him. Was hilarious.
Now that's like, where's the self-awareness, my guy? Like,
Who was he talking to? Kevon Looney?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Looney's like, yup.
Let me not say nothing.
But I think your original thing was like D'Angelo Russell trades.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, Paul George is the first domino. He gets traded to the Warriors. That opens up everything. I don't even know, bro. I literally, because I don't want to see the Lakers do the same shit where they go out there and trade for another max player, and now the rest of the team is doo-doo because you have 3 super max contracts.
I hate to go
don't-
back.
But
Were you pulling a conspiracy that Team USA was trying to make Canada weaker?
Hell yeah, let's run with that. They could not stop Kelly Olynyk, so they had to take his running mate and Andrew Wiggins.
But to the D'Lo point that like apparently LeBron and AD are like they are pushing for that third star. Like that's something that they are really
Again?
pushing for. So like
I understand it because obviously the core right now is just not good enough.
but LeBron and
way
AD
to-
feel like they just need one more guy. I don't know.
I kind of like the scene when they is just them two and a bunch of good pieces. Personally,
Motherfuckers can't make
That
the
is when
play.
they won a championship. So.
right? Yeah,
His team
yeah.
is so like
But
confusing
let's
and
be real. The
polarized,
league
bro.
has evolved significantly.
Yeah.
That's
since
true.
then.
That's
A
true.
lot of teams are so
LeBron's
much better
also
than
older.
2020. Yeah, so maybe getting a third star makes sense in that context because the Rui and the Austin Reeves and the D'Angelo Russell and the Jared Vanderbilt and the Gabe Vincents, that's just not a good enough core to
But-
compete with the rest of the league.
And I agree with y'all. Like something's gonna happen with this Lakers
They coulda
team. It
got
might
Bradley
be a big
Beal.
star. I just feel like it's the same story every year. Like we gonna bring somebody in. Say we do bring in a star, it's just not gonna work out like how picture perfect they be trying to make it seem. Regardless, I still feel like LeBron is still LeBron. He's gonna be implemented as the first option and do everything. Like I can never really see LeBron taking a backseat damn near no matter who's there.
I don't
you were
know.
to-
I think Anthony Davis. I think if that was any year going into it where I felt like he could finally do it to take the reins, I feel like I'm a little bit more confident in it going into this year based off how he ended last year and how he played in the playoffs. Now,
He was amazing.
LeBron is always going to have the basketball.
Yeah.
But I think Anthony Davis could take I'm betting high on Anthony Davis crazy year, as long as he's healthy. You got to put that clause in there.
Had one of his healthiest years last year, and I just felt like he wasn't. Last year was so different
Is
for
he
him
on the
because he
Olympic
didn't.
team?
What happened?
He's on the Olympic team.
Yeah.
Duh, right? Yeah.
Last year was so different for him because he didn't rely on jumpers. You know, he was just attacking the paint, and honestly, he was a defensive monster.
Y'all want to get bigger. If he is the power forward, is he back to taking jumpers, right?
I hope not.
I mean,
How else does he operate, right?
That's why I don't
Yeah,
like.
that's-
That's why I've always been a fan of him at the 5. I've never really liked him at the 4.
I liked him at the 4 with the Pelicans.
Oh well, yeah, they had DeMarcus Cousins.
He was making shots too.
yeah. That
Before
Pelicans-
DeMarcus, it was like
Pelicans
Alexis
Anthony
Ajinko.
Davis could shoot the ball.
Yeah.
Pelicans Anthony Davis could shoot the basketball.
Yeah, he was.
I think it had to be when he got, you know how getting stronger affected
Yeah.
jumper a little bit. I think he just don't got that same touch as he used to.
He was
have.
literally the epitome of like a unicorn. Like he was a freak because he could do so much on the damn basketball
6'10",
court.
6'11",
You know who the
ran
first
like a
unicorn was,
guard.
right?
Porzingis,
Come on, man.
but
I'm
Porzingis
the-
drafted before AD.
No, after.
Way
Oh.
after.
Well, then, yeah, AD was the first unicorn.
No,
crazy
the
'cause
first
he said
unicorn was
AD, like
Porzingis.
AD.
The name comes from Porzingis.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying like the mold.
I get what you're saying. I was just
I
trolling.
think that was probably Hakeem if we want to be real. The mold.
Of like a unicorn.
Yeah. Hakeem was doing everything. I'm trying to draw the trade.
Hakeem
Like,
wasn't shooting threes.
Nobody was. Box scores was 0-0 from 3 full game. And it's just not. I mean,
I don't know who would want to trade for D'Lo at this point.
I know.
Not
a
to say he
team,
doesn't have value, but
I know
like,
a team that would accept D'Lo in a trade.
Who?
The Bulls would. But you don't want Zach LaVine because the contract is the same as Anthony Davis.
That and again, I don't know how healthy Zach LaVine gonna be. That's another
now
thing.
you care about health.
Yes. If we gonna be giving that man that much money.
No,
and
I'm not. You should not do the trade. But
Yeah,
that's
no.
the other star caliber guy. Because Zach LaVine can play to star potential. We can agree on that, right? He's averaged
He
27. in this
and I would
league
love
before.
to see him in
can.
that type of situation where he is like playing next to a LeBron
Just-
and Anthony
Me
Davis.
too.
It's unfortunate. The
This is a
man's
good-
contract
yeah.
is crazy. That
Yeah.
won't even happen. It just won't happen.
Nowadays, when you go to negotiate, you got to make sure you don't get too much money.
Yeah, we was talking in my league had crashed again, but we were in our off season, and he was talking about Gary Trent Jr. and getting in the trade. He was like, he made too much money for me.
Way too much. It was only like 15 too. I just want to waste my cap. Nuggets were in trade talks to land Paul George. Did y'all see
I
that?
saw that.
But we're not willing to include Michael Porter Jr.
Yep. That would have been an easy deal for me to do.
Trade
Yeah,
Mike
Paul
Porter Jr.
George. I would have put MPJ in that easily.
Yeah.
I just don't see why they would. I understand like the fit with Jokic, but like you can Paul George.
Paul George can do that same fit, honestly. It might not
Paul
shoot
George
as a
don't
high
got that
clip.
effort mentality as much
No,
as
he might
MPJ.
not shoot that 3-point as high as a clip, but he could do damn near every score the ball. He's gonna play better defense. He
You
might
got
not
Jamal
rebound
Murray.
as well, but
You got Jamal Murray. He makes up enough of that effort. He still has that mentality too. So
He's about to get a big payday too.
yeah, he's into it.
Yes, that extension gonna be nice. That extension is gonna be real nice.
Let's talk some draft. It feels so long ago,
It was not that long ago.
but
2
it
days.
definitely wasn't. Yeah. How do y'all feel about the draft? Some
Well,
teams
we
that
were
y'all
just on
think
the
did
Nuggets.
well.
I thought they were one of the biggest winners. I thought Daron Holmes was such a great pickup for them.
That's your
Deron.
guy.
Deron Holmes, my bad. Deron Holmes was such a
He
good
made it
pick.
clear when we met him that it was Deron. That's why
My
I'm
bad.
yeah, that was a good pickup for them. I thought Washington for them moving Denny and having that kind of like be the head scratcher. I thought they had a pretty good draft.
The Minnesota
Obviously,
Timberwolves
Sarr.
getting a point guard of the future, which was so I did not expect them to come out of there with Rob Dillingham, and they did. They made that happen. That was phenomenal because you got you can now have him come in, get comfortable, acclimate to the league. Now once Mike Conley retire, you can now usher him in as your starting backcourt point guard with Anthony Edwards. That's a great draft night for them.
Winners, I think the Philadelphia 76ers. At 16, to be able to go and get Jared McCain, kind of reminiscent of when they got Tyrese Maxey, another good guard who can spray the basketball from all areas of the floor in different type of ways. When you get those guards that can shoot off the catch, shoot off the dribble, shoot in a pull-up and transition, I just think it's so valuable when you have a big man that commands so much attention like Joel Embiid. So I love them getting him there at that value. I really love the Lakers getting Dalton Connect. We've obviously talked about it. The history of the Lakers playing their young guys is kind of up in the air, but Dalton Connect is not the typical young guy. He's not one and done, and his best and biggest attributes give the Lakers something that they need, which is shooting, and now they also have a new head coach in J.J. Redick, who is a shooter, so he's probably going to find a way for Dalton Connect to play. Who else?
LeBron talked highly of Dalton Connect.
That was one of my favorite ones, honestly, man. The Dalton Connect piece for them is crazy.
Yeah, man.
And they were saying that the only reason that he failed is that he's old.
Which I think is
That's literally
stupid. We keep doing that. We keep hearing that. Desmond Bane was old too, and now he's a big piece of a team that is going to contend out west potentially.
And he got a dope ass nickname.
I did not like Connect Four.
Connect Four was that's.
I did not like. I did not like Zach Edey at 9. I'm gonna just continue to say it. Nothing to do necessarily with Zach Edey. Maybe it is to do with Zach Edey, but I just felt like he would have been there later. It's a lot of. It's not.
So they should have just traded down.
It's a few teams that I think could have traded back. I think in a draft like this, where it is, I don't like to call it weak because we got to give them a chance, but it's weaker in comparison to the previous drafts and maybe the next few drafts that we see. And I think in these type of drafts, you can use a lot of your leverage to manipulate things in a favorable way. And I think really good teams do that. Like essentially, you look at the Timberwolves. I love what they said. What they needed was another shot creator. They didn't have a way to get that in a free agent market. They didn't have a way to get that in trade market because they didn't want to part ways with anybody. The only avenue that they had was in this draft, and they went and made a trade to get Rob Dillingham. I like when teams do shit like that. You just have to work with what you have without messing up what you have, and they did that. But then I also look at the other side of that draft, and what a lot of people don't talk about is the Spurs essentially got 2 first-round picks for Rob Dillingham, who has not played a minute of NBA basketball.
Yep.
That is nice. That is very, very nice.
One's unprotected, one's protected.
And it's in 2030.
Yeah.
Like, that is a home run to get that for a pick that you was like, we ain't gonna do shit with this anyway. That's nice. And I look at other teams, like, for example, it's not so much the pick, but going into the draft, and I know y'all not draft experts, did any of y'all think Rod Holland was going to be
number 5?
No.
What
you
was it,
probably
5,
could have
right?
got him lower than 5 then.
Yeah.
Especially when you know how much the Memphis Grizzlies wanted to move up to get Klingon. Reed Shepherd. Do I feel like looking at the draft, Reed Shepherd was going to be the hottest guy off the market after 3? No, I think Houston could have traded back. There are some rumors and speculation. Houston wanted a lot for 3. But I just feel like a couple of teams had an opportunity to maybe trade back and do certain things. I know the Hornets didn't because Dejounte was going to be selected by the Spurs had they moved back, so they had to get their guy. And I feel like a team like Brooklyn, I think that they are L because this is a draft where just get involved.
Yeah, they couldn't
Teams
for whatever reason.
Teams didn't really want their picks, man. They were moving.
They tried. The reports was that they were going to try. Somehow,
with
they didn't
Cam
get anything,
Yeah,
right?
They didn't get
Not
anything.
even the second round.
This is the type of draft where I say the Wizards are a big winner to me, like Mike said, because they got involved in the later parts of it. They went in, they got Alex Sarr at number 2, they got Bub Carrington at 13, at 14, and then they went and got Keyshawn George at 24. You went and got a front court player, a wing player, and a guard, and you got them by giving up very minimal shit. And if they hit, it's like cool. And I think the same approach could have been had with a team like the Nets, where it's like, you know what? At 29, Isaiah Collier is still there. He was a guy that was a top 5 prospect going into the college season last year. Let's just take a chance because why not?
Yep.
Why not? So
they walked out with who? Cal Filipowski, Isaiah Collier, and then
Cody Williams.
Cody Williams. Yep, Cody Williams.
I think the Suns did well. They traded back 6 spots.
And got Ryan Dunn.
Who they were going to take at 22.
This pick is not very significant at all, but I originally thought Bucks would look at Tyler Smith in the first round. They ended up getting him in the second round.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be very good.
I think he's going to be good too.
In terms
I
of
like him.
he could play with Giannis, he could shoot the ball, he's athletic. He could
Talk
play
your
the
shit,
space.
Mike. You do
That's
this
one of my
shit too.
favorite
Doc
picks.
Rivers doesn't like playing young guys.
Yeah, he might have to though.
Yeah.
They don't have many options there. He might have to.
The guy that drafted in the first round still confuses me though.
AJ Johnson,
Yeah.
Jalen Green's little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was one of the teams that's like you
I
probably have
graded-
to go for things that you necessarily need.
I graded them as a loser too in my video because so much like win now.
I just
talent was there.
read that they that fella was supposed to go in the second round later in the second
was.
round. So
None of my mocks had him
This
going
is the
first.
John Horst thing. A lot of his picks have been like
Was
a
some of his
reach.
previous was it Marjan Beauchamp? He wasn't a
Giannis.
reach. Oh,
Thon Maker,
Thon Maker.
and now this guy.
Thon
You got
Maker.
one of them hit to the highest degree, and maybe
I
you-
think AJ Johnson got some talent. It's just gonna
He
be
could.
hard to showcase it when you have Dame,
and the
Giannis,
timelines. That's all.
and Chris
Like
Middleton.
maybe you're trying to build a 2 timeline thing, but that just doesn't work
That's
realistically.
impossible.
Yeah.
You just drafted a dude
It's
that's
hard.
18.
I like how y'all got Tyler Colette.
Oh, we killed.
I remember
Y'all had a
draft.
really good
Yeah, you did say that.
I,
was locked up
I
20s,
didn't
right?
think they was going to him in a sec. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe they take him in that late first.
We
when
killed
they
day
had-
2. To get him and then to get Kevin McCullough,
Yeah,
we
that was a
killed
really
day
good
2.
pick.
We
Tyler
killed day
Kolek is literally like a left-hand TJ McConnell type of guy. That's kind of how I look at him.
The way
It was
TJ
too
McConnell
many
played,
trades.
I'm not using TJ no more as a comp. I used to use TJ McConnell as a lot of guys who could be a nice steady back. The way he played, I'm not using that no more. And I'm not saying I was using him for Tyler Kolek, but I'm just
It was kind of impossible to keep up with the trades on day 2.
So
Every
impossible.
pick got
So
traded.
impossible.
Twice, 3 times. Like, bro, actually, I'm not even watching the shit no more. I'll just see the report when it's all done, and I'll see who went to what team. It felt like a 2K league draft in day 2.
bro, it did.
Them in that lit ass studio, which is that's where like First Take and all those places are all those things are filmed. It's smaller than I think people realize.
Really?
So they had these little ass tables.
It's
and
crazy because it
felt-
looks big on TV.
I think it's because of the
Kind of how the
scenery
TNT
of
was. It looked way bigger than
Yeah.
what it was.
But to see who's the Spurs guard, the foreign guard that got drafted,
Juan
Nunez get up and put the hat. That shit felt like the 2K draft, bro. And he just walked up to shake Tatum, right? That's his name.
Yeah, Mark Tatum.
It's like that feels weird. That feels weird. And if it wasn't for Bronny being drafted in the second round, nobody would have gave a damn about day 2 of the draft.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bronny, man. I'm happy
Shout
for
out to
Bronny
Bronny.
and their family, man. I'm the conversations everybody else trying to have and make out of it. I could care less. Y'all love finding some shit to make think pieces about, and it's kind of cringy. It's so damn cringy. I don't care about nothing. If I had a son, he going to the Lakers too. Damn it. Matter of fact, I'm better than Bron. If I had a son, he would have went 17. We'd have got you some first round money.
The fact that he went what he did, and that was like projected. Everybody kind of already knew what was going to happen. Like, why not?
I just
take
don't
it?
understand
Like,
the
what
big
else
deal.
you probably gonna do with
Yeah,
that pick?
literally. That's what I told my
else?
dad. It's the 55th pick. It's the
might as
55th
well.
pick. They were not drafting anybody else at 55 that they were going to have hope in. So just do it. And I'm not saying the 55th pick can't turn out to be shit.
Patty Mills.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that for the Lakers, I don't think they were going to look at that pick as
We
like,
had
Aaron
17.
Wiggins.
We had the 17th
Aaron
pick
Wiggins was
last
drafted?
year.
I ain't know Aaron was
We had the 17th pick last year. How many minutes do you think Jalen Hood-Schifino played?
30.
We talking about the
He
55th
played,
pick.
He played an episode. He played a TV episode.
I don't even know if he might.
He played a Simpsons
got
episode.
in during some garbage time. I think he had one game he started. I think. I don't even know.
Man,
Either
how
that, he
much
was either
La-
one
let's see
game he
how much
started,
Laker you been watching.
or he was the first man off the bench. I think he got like 20 minutes that game.
0 starts.
Okay, so he's first man off the bench, or he got in real early.
Career high, Mike Gessett.
6 points.
9.
12.
Whoa. You rich over there.
He had a 10-pointer.
Oh, okay.
So you said 9, so I guess you were the closer one.
Yeah.
But against who? It makes so much sense. It was a Pistons.
I was gonna say the Wizards.
In the middle
It
of
must
the
have been a blowout.
It was a blowout. It was a 30-point
I
game.
like Jalen Hood-Schifino too. That's the crazy part.
He was lighting it up in these 10 minutes, 10 points. Come
He
on,
was
man.
so good at Indiana. It's just you can't know what it is because the Lakers ain't playing him.
Do you think Alex Fudge is re-signed?
No. Mike don't even know nothing about Alex Fudge.
He
What
don't
position
even
he
play
play?
for the team no more. He got traded.
What happened?
What position he play?
Small forward.
Yes. What college he went to?
Lucky bad.
I don't know. I've seen him. I don't know how many times I've seen a man play, but I've seen him on the roster.
You had him. You seen him play 4 times, maybe.
Alex Fudge, when he was in college, he had like very high draft buzz when he was a freshman. He ended up going back to school and transferring, but he had some high buzz at LSU. He was locking shit up like Ryan Dunn. Shout out. Hey, yeah, that's another thing to close out the draft talk. Shout out to all of our young homies who we got a chance to meet during the draft process that was so cool, like a Ryan Dunn, like Deron Holmes, like Modest Buzelis, like Rob Dillingham, Jacoby Walter, The list can go Jalen, Tyson. What you laughing at?
This graphic that says presidential golfers ranked by handicap.
Who number one?
Trump.
Yeah, he should be. He was
Who's
the
number
richest.
2?
Biden.
What?
What? We should really set it up for America.
What?
I didn't watch. I didn't get to watch.
hey,
the
Watch
full debate.
7 minutes of
Hey.
it, bro.
Didn't they start
Them
talking about
handicaps
golf?
ain't real.
Yes.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, that's
Yes.
crazy.
Them
Joe
handicaps
Biden
ain't
up
real.
there shaking, talking about some. Well, when I was the vice president, I had my handicap to get as low as 6. And then Trump's about, I've seen your swing. I'm like, oh, hell no, we are in trouble, bro. If it wasn't for the most important job in the world, that shit would have been comedy.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's for the number one job in America, I couldn't take it serious, bro.
I might run soon.
You might as well.
There need to be an age limit on being a president.
Bro, but if
It
this
is.
is real, if Trump's handicap is 2.5 million, 2.5.
Biden,
That's
You mean the
pretty fucking
reverse
good.
way? You mean the
Yeah.
reverse age?
yeah, they're too
Oh,
old.
2.0, yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I agree
That's
with you.
because my girl had sent me like a clip of the debate or whatever, and it was a bunch of times where Joe Biden was just like, I don't know, he was
Stuck,
just like pausing it.
yeah.
I was like, dude,
He
some
was
dudes
literally
are just
stumbling-
old as hell.
Yeah,
Some dudes just old as hell.
And then the next day, he had another press or like a rally, and he looked like he was 60 again. Like he was out, he damn near did a backflip. He was so damn excited.
The Adderall.
He something. 'Cause you know they drug test you
They
before
got
the
the
big
resources.
thing. He ain't
The
get drug
Adderall
tested
is
for the next
crazy.
one. Yeah, presidential golf debate. That is crazy.
Trump will kick your ass and go.
Yeah, if his handicap is 2.5, I do not stand a chance.
I mean, I feel like when you that rich,
That's
you can
all
just-
you've been doing for
yeah,
the last
you
30
just-
years.
You literally just get to practice.
Yeah, when-
You literally are on the same golf courses probably as professional golfers, and you
I
just
mean, he's built golf course. Like there's
Yes.
Trump courses all across America.
and you probably could just have, I don't know, Phil Mickelson come and play with you and teach you a little something.
Yeah.
Phil Mickelson seemed like somebody who played with Trump. And I'm sorry, Phil, if I'm completely wrong.
Nah, you're probably right. A
Let
lot
me
of
Google it.
golfers are like
For real.
conservatives for sure.
Let's see, Philly Phil.
Philly,
You definitely could find a picture of them together, undoubtedly. I'd
Philly
bet
Phil.
$100.
I
on
think
it.
so too.
I would bet
I would not
$100
bet
on it.
against this.
Who? Because Bryson DeChambeau just did some things with Trump. He was like, oh yeah. I told you. I bet $100 on
Hey,
it,
on the
bro.
golf field?
Yes.
They shaking up. This is a handshake with like conviction. This is another pick. It's multiple picks.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other basketball stuff? What you said, true though. Yeah. Shout out to all the young guys that got drafted. Man, it's pretty dope to see them walk them stages. Can't wait to see Ryan Dunn play center for the Suns this
He
season.
gonna get at least a block and steal.
At least a block of
Stocks.
steal.
Invest in his stocks.
Yeah. Other basketball.
I
I
think
mean,
that's really it, man. We really playing this waiting game.
we had some extensions, but like
Paul George really, Emmanuel Quickly,
Emmanuel Quickly got
Scotty
bagged.
Barnes, obviously OG.
It says that he has until 4:00 our time to make the decision. That's from
Paul George.
our group chat. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep. Opting in or opting out. Today's the
Okay.
day.
man.
Would you get? I'm guessing on opting in a trade. That's
Opting
what
in.
I
Yeah,
Definitely.
he getting that
Opting in
money.
trade.
It's three. I heard Windhorse say he has three options: it's to opt in and stay, opt in and get traded to the Warriors, or opt out and sign directly to the 76ers.
yeah, those are like his three.
I wanna
If you're
see- I
him,
wanna
which
see the
option?
Warrior one so
Going
bad.
to the Warriors.
I think the Sixers one just so enticing though, because they just already kind of got it. They just need that third. Imagine you just replacing Tobias Harris first.
I'm just very curious on Kawhi and his camp. Like, are they looking at this and being like, hey, if he stays, then we stand, or if he opts out and he wants to get traded, do we look at this roster and think that we can still compete at a high level?
Let me ask you this:
Like, that's I just
Has
don't-
Before you even say
Kawhi
that,
Len-
I don't even think Kawhi cares about like.
Boom.
I
Has
don't even think Kawhi cares about
ever
getting to the champion no more.
Strikes you as a guy who is that type of dude, where it's like,
I mean, it's hard to gauge Kawhi because you don't know much about him.
yeah, but one thing we haven't gauged is he's ever been like, I'm staying, leaving because of winning. Because if that was the case, he would have ran it back with the Raptors. A dude who leaves a championship team that he just won a championship with,
Oh,
I didn't get the feeling that if Paul George left, he's like, I'm a jumbo too. I feel like he would be like, I'm cool right here.
that's not me saying that Kawhi don't want to win.
Yeah.
That's not me saying that. But it also don't strike me as a guy who every time the situation looks a little duller, that he's just packing up and leaving. He don't seem like I'm just jumping ship out here.
Yeah, I mean, he did leave two very good teams, the Spurs and the Raptors. So the Spurs one was a little different. It was more so like locker room issues.
I think he got out
If
there
he
at the
was
right
that
time
way,
too.
Yeah, he did.
If Kawhi looked at winning that way, where it was able enough to move him to go to another place, do you think he would have already left?
No.
Just because
No, I
they
think-
really haven't had.
I
that
think he
success?
always
He's
looked
the
at-
reason why they ain't had the chance. So,
That's fair enough.
but I just don't think I think he prioritized winning. I think he wants to win, which is why he made sure Paul George was going to be able to come when he went to the Clippers. I just don't think somebody leaving. I don't think he's that typical type of player where we see that. We're like, yeah, LeBron leaving, so what's going to happen with Anthony Davis? I don't think Kawhi moving like that. I think, yeah, he want to win, but it's like, I'm in LA, I got my bag. This is where I wanted to be. I'm at home. Come on, like, let's just make it happen. We're going to find a replacement for Paul George or something. But
Right.
all of a sudden now, what, Kawhi finna go to
Why his suit looks
the
so
Sixers?
big? Am I tripping?
Whose suit are you talking about?
That's what
Bobby
they
Clintman. His
'Cause-
suit look huge.
Because he probably ain't get it fit. He's super. You know, when you super tall, the side like
Yeah.
Kevin Durant clothes be big because he's just super tall. But he definitely get that suit fitted.
That suit so big, it looked like it could kind of be a style, like
That's
the baggy
right.
style.
He wanted a baggy style. That
Man,
could be
it's
true.
possible. It's possible. Kids these days. You know they say fashion goes in cycles, so maybe we about to
They
go
do.
back to 2003.
Because like
We
now-
are. They
'cause
wearing big
skinny
ass
jeans-
pants.
Yeah, skinny jeans have now
I
gone
guess it's
out,
true, yeah.
and now we're back into like
I'm seeing people wear big ass pants
Yeah.
like we used to when we was younger. Like
Yeah.
What was those big ass shoes called?
which ones?
I don't know if they was designer or not, but they look like they would have those big red.
the big
shoes.
red ones. Yeah,
you know what I'm
the
talking
big-
Oh
about.
yeah,
yeah.
those was the
Mischief
yeah,
joints?
Moschino.
See, I didn't even know the name of them, but those just seemed like some hype ass shit. Those could
Remember
never.
they had them on 2K?
They did.
I never understood
That
the
shit was hype
behind
for like
those
2
shoes.
days, and then it died immediately.
I swear, I think Shay came up to the
Yeah,
game
he
in some of
did.
them. Yeah,
He did.
It's so weird how fashion works. Like, who brought back the big jeans? Like, somebody had to bring it back for everybody else to be like,
I was gonna glaze.
Who was the first person? Maybe Kanye.
I was gonna say shit.
Shay?
First person that just had straight up holes in their shirt.
I
And they
ne-
was like, you know what?
That was probably Russell Westbrook.
When I see trends like that, I never can see like for me, it's never one person. It's always a group. It's always like, man, New York people was wearing this. New Yorkers had the Timbs out, and everybody started wearing Timbs. It's hard to really say that one person,
Yeah.
even though it probably is one person, but it's just hard to pinpoint who it was.
I just always feel like someone has to start it and then other people start.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Celebrities get their inspiration from people that you don't know. So you're
That's
gonna
true,
say he's
yeah.
gonna say
You remember
Shay.
when
Shay
somebody-
got that from somebody.
Somebody tried to start the trend of wearing your watch on your ankle.
Michael Beasley,
They didn't do that with Taylor.
Taylor Rooks,
He's
yeah,
trying to
young
be
Taylor
different.
Rooks.
When you're watching,
They say Taylor Rooks be having motherfuckers just doing anything. Motherfucker had a watch on his ankle. I love Michael Beasley, man. I love Michael Beasley. Y'all excited for this college football? Derek, you getting college football?
if y'all playing it, yeah.
Yeah, we all getting it, and I don't expect to be good at it. So
Because it just sounds like another fun game. Because I never played Madden. So if this one's a different version of
You
it.
never
I'll
play any Madden?
I have, but I haven't played Madden in like 5 or 6 years.
okay.
So like it's been a while. I used to buy it every time it came out, but then I just stopped.
Same. Shit sucks.
That's still
sucks.
bad. I don't know why. I bought it this year and ain't played.
I played Tyler. I remember one of the last few times I played Tyler.
He kicked your
And
ass.
he kept rolling out of the pocket. And it just makes your whole defense collapse if the QB can get out and just sit there. And then he just sits there, and then like your D lineman can never get to the QB. And then eventually your DBs and linebackers just stop playing defense. and
Sound like you
someone
played an
just-
old man.
Yeah, it was an older one.
You run
it's
out,
crazy.
stop.
Because
Yes,
it's the
and then
same
you're-
thing in this game.
It
And then
does.
yeah, and your secondary eventually just stops, and then someone's open, and it's like, damn. And I just couldn't stop it. He literally did it the whole game.
Yeah, that's the thing about like the Madden games. It's more so like knowledge based instead of skill based, or like actual like
Stick play.
stick play. wonder
I
if
thought it was the opposite. You don't have no football knowledge.
not football knowledge
the
but
game?
of the game.
That's
like,
that's every game. That's
Yeah.
2K. If you don't know, he be trying to play 2K with us, and he don't know to just go to the corner and get the 3 on a fast break because he's trying to play real basketball. Let me run to the rim. Like, nah, boy, go to that corner.
Yeah, natural basketball instincts don't work in 2K.
No, absolutely not.
Which
You
is
cannot
sad.
try to protect the basket in transition. You have
You
to
gotta
protect the
protect the
3-point line.
Yeah.
You know,
It just goes against so many things that you're used to doing.
Shout out to Mike and the runs though. This is the longest I've played 2K in the history. I've usually been burnt out by now.
Yeah, I was even grinding my dude the other day. He a 94 now.
You was grinding him how?
On my career.
In my career.
You made a career out of grinding him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully I get him to like a 96 or so. Then we really decent.
There used to be accounts that you can buy, like accounts.
Steve
I wish
Glovac?
they still existed, so I don't have to grind a build. I could just buy someone else's account that's a 99 and just do it that way.
2K so bogus. They had a reward that once you get to a certain point with like your rep, you get like a 99. You're like, you don't got to grind them at all, just free 99. Or you got to pay for them,
Yeah.
but you don't got to grind them. I played 2K for so long this year. I'm not even nowhere close to that.
No, you have to be like locked in your basement
For like
months.
the whole year to get a 99.
Yeah, I wonder how many people in the world have that.
That's my biggest gripe with 2K, bro. It's like, since y'all are inconsistent, if y'all are money based, right? That's what y'all want. Y'all want money. Okay. Reward me who is giving y'all a lot of money. After 5 builds, I should get one free. There should be a certain number of builds. When you make a certain number of builds, you should just get one on the house. That's what any reputable, smart ass company is doing. Whether it's a restaurant, you spend money with me, you get some money
You get a
back.
reward system.
You goofy, stupid dummies.
The best thing 2K could do, and they not gonna do this because they want their money and it doesn't make sense for them. But if they had it where if you delete a bill or get rid of a bill, you get half the VC back. Come on now.
I feel like someone would
Well,
find a way
that's
to-
too much.
I feel like
I'm not trying to be unreasonable.
But this is the only counterpart to it. To max out a bill to a 90 overall, it's over $50 to deal.
That's why I'm saying if I build 5, just give me a free one.
Right.
It don't hurt. Just give me a free one.
They need a reward system.
Just give me a free one to 90. I'm not even saying let me get him for free the whole thing. Just let me get the creation of him to the 90. And then if somebody been playing the game for months, we should be able to get a 99 by now. Just like my team. It used to get to the point where my team at the end.
They don't even care no more.
At the end, you could just get all of the cards for nothing. They just costed nothing. And I feel like this is the end of the game. So let us who still playing Pro-Am and Rec and all of the things that kind of maximize y'all game, let us just have fun at this point. It would be, at this point in the game, it would be nice to be able to have a free build I could do some stupid shit with. Just free 99. I'll just do something really ignorant and stupid just to have fun. That was the best my team was when all those cars we used to want and work hard for at the very end, they just become super cheap and you can just get them. And now me, you, Kyron, KB,
They used
Tyler.
to piss me off when I'll be in my team, I'll buy a card, spend a bunch of my team points on it, and then I won't play it for like a month. I'll come back. That
He
card
cheap
like
as hell.
5,000.
Yeah, can't
Like,
even get your money.
Just wasted it.
Hopefully college football is better.
Still middle finger to 2K.
Do it.
Always and forever.
Why? Because you suck. I'm just joking. I'm thinking about starting my league.
It's not worth it. You won't get to year 2.
My leagues be
Is
getting.
it-
My leagues get
The
to
last
us.
time we did with his, I think it went to year 2.
Yeah, my leagues
okay.
get places because it ain't no circus. His shit is the Ringley brothers. Well, he just be letting the free reign. That's the other thing with you with 2K. Everybody was talking about how you run your league. I'm like, yeah, y'all ain't know this. Mike don't care about shit until it affects him. He was doing
Definitely
he was
was.
doing unfair trades and people complaining about it. I'm like, that's Mike. When somebody do an unfair trade and he can't beat them, then it's gonna be a problem. They said somebody was in the league playing off ball. I'm just like, yeah, Mike don't care because Mike probably beat him. It don't affect him. But if that dude start beating Mike with the off ball, then it's gonna be dealt with. That's Mike as your commissioner. We appreciate y'all though. That's another great episode of Numbers on the Board.
Oh, I saw that pause. I heard that pause. I know it was coming.
So yeah, we'll see y'all next time. And when we do see y'all, some free agency stuff is gonna be happening.
So.
We out though. Peace.